It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to Wendy's Travel. Wendy's. Yeah, let's maybe put the tongue back in my head. Wednesday's Travel and Cruise Industry News Podcast. On this, the 19th day of June, 2024, coming to you from a very hot Virginia. We're going to be up 93, 94 degrees today. And I'll give you a couple guesses where I'm going to be this afternoon. No doubt about it.
A new station alert has arrived.
It was considerably more comfortable yesterday as far as the coldness factor. So it's definitely warmed up this week considerably. Got a bunch of stuff to go over today. The headlines this morning, we've got another crew member arrested down in Miami. Some tropical storm information. It's going to be a tropical storm if it's not right now within the next hour or so. Got some reports on the spot from that. Vancouver introduces facial biometrics. Genting Dream makes some itinerary changes. Cruise line to broadcast special sporting events. A rock cruise on the Norwegian Joy. And lots more live here at 11 o'clock this morning on Wednesday's Travel and Cruise Industry News podcast. Okay. Today, folks, is National Martini Day. I'm not a big martini fan. I will have one on occasions. Some of the specialty martinis, like a chocolate martini, I like. Now, I will drink that, at least one on every cruise. But a straight up martini, no. I'm not a big gin fan, number one. But, if I can do a chocolate martini, that's okay. I'll do that. If you're listening via the podcast, welcome aboard. You can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcast from. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News. And up pops the fat travel guy. All right, guys. We got to look at weather firsthand this morning. And first, let me show you. This is what it looked like at Playa del Carmen yesterday. Now, what happened to it? All right, so then as what is going to be a tropical storm, it actually started approaching the Yucatan Peninsula. Well, not really. It's kind of behind the Yucatan Peninsula. The storm center is over the Bay of Campeche, which is actually west of Yucatan. But because of the rotation of the winds, that's just sucking all that tropical moisture up and dumping it on Mexico. So this was the storm approaching, and this is today, and they're getting a ton of rain and winds of 60 to 80 miles per hour. It's not miles per hour, 60 to 80, whatever it is, kilograms per hour. I don't know. But anyway, a lot of wind. Now, that, of course, comes from Lisbon on location. the storm itself, like I say, is either at tropical storm strength right now or it will be in the next hour. So it could actually get worse. But where it's located, it's just sucking all that stuff right over Yucatan Peninsula. Don't get me wrong, folks. This is not like a hurricane, but it's bad enough. It's worse. It's worth clearly paying attention to, especially down there where it's been, so dry. That's just going to cause tons of flooding. All right, here's the latest on the weather. This was about an hour ago. In a look at today's weather, the disturbance expected to become a tropical storm later today, bringing heavy rains, coastal flooding, and gusty winds to the coasts of Texas and northeastern Mexico through Thursday. Currently located about 265 miles east-southeast of La Pesca, Mexico, 315 miles southeast of Brownsville, Texas, carrying maximum sustained winds 40 miles an hour. It's moving west-northwest at 8. The pressure is 998 millibars. Some increase in strength is possible before the system reaches the coast. The disturbance is forecast to become a tropical storm later today. Currently, in the next 48 hours, they're looking at 80% chance of further development and 80% chance over the next 7 days. Meanwhile, in the southwestern Atlantic Ocean, an area of showers and thunderstorms located several hundred miles east of the Bahamas is associated with a surface trough of low pressure interacting with an upper level trough. Environmental conditions are marginally conducive for some gradual development from the system during the next couple of days while it moves westward or west-northwestward. The system is forecast to approach the coast of the southeastern United States by the later part of the week. Formation chance is very low over the next 48 hours at 10%. Formation over the next 7 days is 20%. And I just checked, folks. It is now the first official named storm of the year. It has reached tropical storm strength. It's now Alberto. So we'll see what Alberto does now that it has a name. All right. I'll be back with a few more stories. Not a great deal of news, but after a quick break from one of our network sponsors. A 35-year-old crew member appeared in federal court yesterday after federal agents found child sexual abuse material and bestiality videos on his phone after he disembarked at PortMiami on Sunday. U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents searched the cell phone of Ferry Marianto on Sunday afternoon, which revealed multiple videos and photographs depicting child sexual abuse material. The report did not identify his home country, although Marianto is a common name in Indonesia. The videos on the ship employee's cell phone showed boys and girls being raped or otherwise sexually abused by men and women. Miami-Dade police, who arrested the crew member, said the videos depicted victims between the ages of 3 and 10 years old being sexually abused. Marianto was also found to be in possession of videos that depicted bestiality, including multiple videos of women engaging in sexual activity with a horse, a pig, and a dog. A pig? Come on now. That's this. Wow. That's the 13th, I think, crew member that's been arrested in the last 3 or 4 months. I'm wondering, how are they conducting this investigation? Anyway, I'm all in favor of I'm not disputing what law enforcement is doing. I'm curious. Where are they getting the information from to pursue these arrests? All right. The Vancouver Fraser Port Authority has collaborated with the U.S. Customs and Border Protection to implement facial biometric technology at the Canada Place cruise terminal. This initiative marks the first use of such technology in a Canadian seaport for cruise passenger embarkation. The technology automates the manual checks of travel documents for passengers entering the U.S., like those heading to Alaska, by comparing their live photo with one in their pre-trip documentation within seconds. If you've been thinking about the Boston to Quebec Norwegian Gem cruise that sails on September 6th, it's a good time to jump, folks. Norwegian dropped the price $100 today. Prices now start at $835 per person. So, sailing September 6th from Boston, stops at Bar Harbor, Halifax, Sydney, Charlottetown, and then cruises the St. Lawrence Seaway to Quebec. Join me, Hot Air Tom, and a bunch of other folks on the Norwegian Gem, sailing September 6th. Call me, 434-258-9264. Genting Dream, which has primarily operated cruises between Singapore and Port Klang, Malaysia, is shifting some of its Singapore-based itineraries. The adjustment were made due to expected congestion within some of the ports on the itineraries, which would make it difficult for the ship to maneuver while docking and could create delays. Luckily, only one sailing has been impacted in 2024. The changes are relatively minor. The impacted itinerary, a 3-night round-trip cruise to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and Penang, Malaysia, is scheduled to set sail from Marina Bay Cruise Center in Singapore on December 17th. Embarkation has been delayed from 7 p.m. local time to 11 p.m., and the order of the port calls has been reversed, meaning the cruise will now call on Kuala Lumpur first and Penang second. Resort World Cruises, first ship, is also making identical changes to several of her Singapore-based itineraries for 2025, again due to berthing traffic. January 28th, February 25th, March 11th, and March 25th, and finally April 8th, all in 2025, will have similar changes to the itinerary. Fred Olsen Cruise Line announced it will broadcast major sporting events aboard its fleet this summer, including Union of European Football Association's European Football Championship, the Wimbledon Championships, and the 2024 Summer Olympics. The matches and games will be shown in public areas and guest cabins on the cruise line's 3 smaller ships, Bolette, Borealis, and Balmoral. To complement the sporting broadcast, Fred Olsen Cruise Lines is also introducing a new range of themed cocktails, including the Strawberry Striker, the Kickoff Collins, Match Day Mojito, and the Penalty Punch. Music promoter On the Blue Cruises announced it will present a 5-night Monsters of Rock cruise aboard the Norwegian Cruise Line ship in spring of 2025, featuring a slew of rock band performances and other interactive events for guests. The full ship charter of Norwegian Joy will depart of Miami on March 10th, 2025, and make 2 port calls, one at Great Stirrup Key and the other at Nassau in the Bahamas. Among the rock bands scheduled to perform are Tesla, LA Guns, Slaughter, Rose Tattoo, Alda Nova, Iron Maidens, Lynch Mob, The Bites, Midnight City, Hurricane, The Cruel Intentions, Winger, and Michael Schenker. I don't know any of those groups. Join author Ivan Cox and me on the cruise ship Dr. Cruise on the Norwegian Epic, sailing from Port Canaveral on November the 16th, 2024. This is going to be a highly entertaining cruise with stops in Puerto Plata, St. Thomas, Tortola, and the British Virgin Islands, Great Stirrup Key. Join us in November. Cruise ship Dr. Cruise. Just call me 434-258-9264. All right. And that's going to wrap up the news portion of today's show. Don't go away. We're coming over to the chat room and seeing who's fussing at me today. Wow. Here's a name that I don't know right off the get-go. Palomo Wisby. Well, welcome aboard. Hot Air Tom's with us. Happy Hump Day. Yikes, cruising isn't safe any longer. There's a report of a crazy passenger having a loud outbreak in the Joy's Latitude party recently. Almost hit the captain. I can't believe security did not, I'm sure he meant to finish that, but security didn't grab that person. Steve's with us. Good morning, Steve. There's Gretchen out in Ohio. It's Joanne. Good morning, Joanne. Greetings from stormy Playa del Carmen. That's Elizabeth on location. No pool for me. Already floating here. Yeah, she sent me a text just before I went on that her pool's overflowing. That's not a good thing. Just heard thunder. Welcome to hurricane season. Yeah, just think, this is not a bad one. This is just, an easy one so far. I mean, this thing could still develop, folks, even further. I'm thinking, though, it's going to go on and go ashore in Mexico. That'll bend up toward Texas. But then overland, it's going to kill it. That's my projection, at least. Hot Air says, my martinis are always with vodka, shaken, not stirred. Yes, 00, Tom. Elizabeth said the sunny photo was a few weeks ago. Oh, okay. It was the palm trees from yesterday. Yeah, that was the storm approaching. Oh, I said this morning, didn't I? Gary Older Than Dirt's with us. Gary, I've got some news for you, my friend. I meant to call you yesterday. Might as well tell you now. Here's the situation. The train that we were going to take from Whittier to Anchorage, there's 2 trains a day. There's one called the cruise train that goes off after the cruise ships come in the morning. And then there's the public train. That's 6:45. Well, obviously, we don't want to take the train down at 6:45. Hell, we'd be 8 to 9 o'clock getting to the hotel. And you and I both have early flights the next morning, so we'd have no time in Anchorage. But what the confusing part of it is that there's no cruise train that day. Nobody can tell us why, but there's not one on the schedule. So we're going to take the bus down. Well, it goes the exact same route. It's just we're going to be on a bus instead of on the train. I would have liked to have done the train. I mean, I've done the train twice. It's nice. I've also done the bus once. So we'll get into Anchorage and have some time in Anchorage. At least, we'll get there by noon, I would think. Maybe earlier. So we can do something in Anchorage. I definitely go to the restaurant I'd like to take you to while we're there, which I enjoyed, and it has my bourbon. And it's not that far from the hotel. So anyway, and they're not going to cost you anything. I figured you wouldn't care about that, but yeah, that's already in the package. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to take the train down. Sucks. Elizabeth said the street is from today. Yeah, I knew that. Sorry, I sent those photos just moments before Chillie Show. Well, that's okay. I recovered pretty quickly on it. Got them up in a hurry. Weather.com says Alberto. Yep, that's correct. Bob's with us. Good morning, Bob. There's Mike. I was beginning to wonder where Mike was. Mike's always first or second person in the house. Excuse me. Goodness. Todd's with us. Hey, Todd. Bus okay with me. Don't want to wait for a train at 7 p.m. The later cost okay with me. Yeah, I kind of figured that. But anyway, my apologies for not getting you called yesterday. That was when I finally heard back from Nate about the stupid train. And we were booked on that train. So anyway, that's kind of a bummer, but more so for you, because you could go up to the dome car thing, where you can really see. I can't go up there. So I have to stay down on the ground floor in the train car. But anyway, so that's the latest gear. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. What is today? Today's Wednesday. Yeah. So I'm here tomorrow and Friday. Same time, same place. I'll try not to screw things up tomorrow. Yeah, no, I won't. I'll probably screw something up. It seems to be my lot in life is to completely screw up a program. All right, guys, that's it for today. Hit the thumbs up button, please. And if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe now button. It doesn't cost you anything. The bell notification lets you know when we're live or when a new video is posted. And we are at 5295 this morning. Doing a nice little growth spurt. Should go over 5,300 today. So join us, folks. All right, that's it for today. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. Have a great day, everybody. See you back here tomorrow.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chilliescruises.